What's happening? Uh, I've been having these kind of like these reoccurring themes here. I heard someone explain that the human heart is electrical, and it's something called Phizeo electricity. And it's like this thing makes so much sense to me now, like to understand why things are the way they are. It's kind of like our environment. It's autonomous to us, but yet when you touch things or mess with things or change the environment, the atmosphere, the things in that environment change. You know what I'm saying? Ever so subtly. And that would make sense with this Phizeo thing, because the way Phizeo works is that a frequency taps a quartz crystal that is basically compressed inside something. And there was a video called the mystery, the water, the great mystery, and it was about these attributes of water, where water has memory. And it's the same thing that I was just telling this dude the other day. I was like, listen, the heart has memory. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how is that freaking possible? You know what I'm saying? Freaking, because it's it's like, what is that? And it's something to do, I believe, with that electrochemical. And then also, if you throw in Physio into the mix, same thing with like qigong and all that. You breathe out, and it compresses your abdomen to its lowest point, and all your organs in a way. So you're compressing your body. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, in a generic way, compression. The quartz or something we got about us, freaking, when the frequency hits while you're compressed, it causes a freaking electronic spark. Like when people get angry, you ever seen someone get angry and their face goes, and it's like a rock, and their whole body's tense, their fists are clenched? That's piezoelectrical. You're squeezing the quartz, and it's causing an electrical reaction, and it's because of fight or flight, self-defense, adrenaline, and basically fear. But there's an opposite effect, where when things relax, they start to flow freely. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only thing you can control about it is that, can you keep yourself calm and thinking clear? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like stagnant water versus like water that settles that and is clear. You know what I'm saying? Or like the river. It's like, it's always, since it's circulating, it's more oxygen in it. But it's like they said, when you constantly broadcast negative vibes, let's just say vibes, words are vibes. Words are just attributes of a vibe you're trying to express to someone else. Like scary. Scary is like spooky, afraid, uh, you know, etc., etc. Uh, peace. Well, peace, that's a vibe where a person ain't, they're not strifing right now. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to get up someone's in everyone's way. You know what I'm saying? And they're not getting bothered by what everyone says. That's an attribute of their state of mind. It isn't. It's peace is a state of mind that you can attain. At times. You know what I'm saying? It kind of, but it doesn't mean you can always. You know, it's not what they tell you it means is what it really means, man. But anyway, it makes sense to me now, because that's a similar concept to this, how Physio works. It means in this environment, everything is moving, it's going on, but we can affect it. You go walk up to a plant and stomp, stomp, stomp on it, and it turns brown and dies, basically, because it's uh, in a way, all matter is just a vibration. So in a way, you kind of like smash another vibration with your own. You know what I'm saying? Because the vibration's moving so slow, it's solid, and the things that are moving so fast are not solid, like light and sound. You know what I'm saying? And the light spectrum, there's more to the light spectrum than we can see with our eyes. So that's where your thing like aura comes into to play. Like people say, oh, they're surrounded by a field of light. That could be a spirit, like a evil spirit in there. Could be a person, yeah, it could be, angels. I've read of accounts of angels clothing on people. uh, continents like lightning, things like that, like interesting stuff. But it's all in the realm of this Phizeo electrical, because when I was thinking bio electrical, it's like I can think of chemicals mixing. You mix copper and lemon, and you get an electrical current. You know what I'm saying? If you got the copper wire, that, and the body's just a bunch of circuits. The veins are circuits. Uh, it's like, why do they say don't step in water with electricity connected to it? Because it'll shock you, because it's a conductor, right? With 4/5 freaking water. And they say the water has memory. But, so, I mean, there you go. How can memory exist in your heart? Maybe it's because it's contained in your blood itself. There's something to do. Your blood is like got its own little like battery in it. It's a little life force battery in it. Each little thing does. But this body that has the same kind of stuff in it, these little energy producers, like basically the stomach mixes copper, nickel, and iron and other metals from foods with acids like lemonade, citrus, vinegar. So of course it's not. And look, they say it's like they used to make batteries in clay jars, right? Look, in people, they say in the Bible it says that from the clay of the earth, man was made and breathed into. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and we're also referred to as can the what is it? Can the clay boast itself against the potter? You know what I'm saying? Kind of a thing, and that people do this kind of thing sometimes, and not realize like how crazy, like whoever created us, all the like care that they went through to make this big system kind of run, and how it's all self-sustaining, but yet it's interactive. Your decisions and your choices do matter, and they do affect the things around you and your own body. You know what I'm saying? Your own piezoelectrical. Because I see how people can get charged two ways. They can get used to the friction and the anger and the pain and the freaking suffering, and it can be it's what regenerates their charge. So then they come at you in a way. It's called niggling. Niggling means it's in a way when you criticize someone constantly over minor, insignificant, minute details. It's like it's basically Pharisee legalist. That mentality, because you're feeling bad yourself. You know what I'm saying? The only way you can get your charge is by someone else you see like actually uh, going towards the calm, relaxed peace, at peace state of mind, and you gotta trouble them again, and you bring them down, and somehow it raises you up. But really, it only raises you from the bottom half to the middle ground. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't never elevate you above. You got to pull someone from above down to elevate yourself to the middle. You know what I'm saying? And I realize, just like that, this kitty cat, every time I come over here, it comes out of like nowhere. And then I pet it. That petting, even when you pet a cat and you see it in the dark, little static electricity flies up off its back. There's two times when it gets really frightened, its hair stands up. But when you pet it and it starts to purr and stuff, its hair stands up the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's like the body just got a dose of Phizeo, and somehow it's kind of like when you get the right frequency, when you make a ding, like a certain kind of glass will break because it causes a intense reaction, and that same vibration is what the quartz somehow, through, instead of chemically, through somehow being compressed, and then this thing, and then vibrated, so it's restricted from moving, it generates a charge. And that's what I'm saying about the anger. Sometimes being stuck in someone's anger is the fuel to keep them going through the day, but it's the thing that keeps them stuck down the long run. Because and here's the thing: when you start to let go, you need the anger to recharge you. But look, when you start to get peace, everything starts to recharge you. Your Phizeo. You know what I'm saying? You'll see a bird fly, and you'll be like, wow, that's cool. And look, you get recharged. You'll just overhear someone, encourage someone, or comfort someone with nice words, and then you'll get a little recharge out of that. You know what I'm saying? For instance, or just like, look, you tune yourself like to a different polarity, man. And it's like some people, they don't realize that people could see, like, it's like, what is the fuel, like the electrical fuel. We're not talking about the fuel, the food element. We're talking about like the will, the intention element, that why do people do the things that they do. And some people are just slaves to their own behavior, that they don't. It's like there's this term, it's called a monster. It's like you need this mirror to recognize that it's something that, like, you might even see it as a good thing, but you haven't realized that it's like robbing your life force, and it's robbing your peace, and it's ruining your relationships. And the only person who can really do anything about it is yourself, because you got to recognize and acknowledge that it's a vampire. And it's, or it's like, in order to get yours, do you got to take it somehow from someone else. Before you get a rise, does someone else have to have a fall? And just look, is that, you got to look at your own motives, why you do the things you do. Are you trying to, that's why people become narcissistic, or attention seeking. Same thing. They're trying to get this Phizeo charge. It's just, there's different ways, like, there's different orientations. There's not just two. There's not just good and bad. It's like everyone has negative qualities or tendencies. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily stuck to have them forever. If you recognize them and put in the work to start to make a change and develop a new habit over time, and realign and retune your intentions and your will freaking to what's right and what's good and true, and look, that will Physio charge you. But if it's always about some kind of, like, look, striving, some kind of competition, some kind of petty egotistical, some kind of, it's just some kind of malevolent ulterior motives and shit. Because look, it doesn't make sense sometimes why people do what they do. But if you see that somehow, like, look, there's like an evil thing. There's got to be some kind of like profit system for evil. There's got to be some end. You know what I'm saying, for it. And that therefore you can. It's kind of like, look, it's gonna seek the path of least resistance. There's only so many directions it can go. So you can kind of like, look, follow the money or follow the trail of breadcrumbs, and you can find the source. Like, you might see anger, right? And you'll think, man, your whole problem is you're just fucking so angry. You know what I'm saying? That that it's bad for your health, but you don't realize that that person is like, it's not, anger is not the real problem. It's more like a symptom of something else, like they're hurt. You know what I'm saying? And since that hurt is blocking any kind of positive Physio charging, it's like blinding them to the electrical sockets all around you, to the spirit world. You know what I'm saying? To higher knowledge, to better things than what you're getting from the and it's not even really these people's fault. It's like been a massive, like, Hessian style narcissistic brainwashing we've all went through school. They did it to our parents. Their parents did it to them, and so on and so forth. They do it. They say it's for your own good, so you don't get hurt, and stuff like that. They'll say things like that they're hard on you, or they say they encourage you, but it's really more like, look, they point you. This is the way you go, and don't go the other way, or you just don't wanna. You don't want to find out what's down that road. Never pull back the Wizard of Oz's curtain. In a way, it's kind of like that. You're gonna go get hurt. It's like, because kind of, I think everyone kind of knows, like, there's something ain't right, and if you just go stern and looking in that direction, you'll you'll probably end up, like, you'll lose faith in everything, and then you won't be able to. They'll perceive that you won't be happy, because you won't be able to live in the illusion anymore. But in all actuality, even if it hurts to realize the lies and the illusion and the fakeness of it all, once you come to, once you're at peace with it now, and you can move on, and actually appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? After you patiently suffer it and endure it for a season, on the other side of it, man, you're actually Physio recharged, like, but tuned to something you never You never had that connection before, man. It's crazy like that.